Do you ever get those calls that say blocked or an unfamiliar number, but you have a sneaking suspicion of who it might be? You decide not to answer it, but the calls don't stop. If you're being called by a debt collector, it's not just going to go away. It's important for you to know your rights and understand your situation. Let's look at your options for dealing with debt and debt collectors. We're mainly talking about consumer debt, which is money you owe for expenses like credit cards, car loans, student loans, medical bills, gym memberships, and cell phones. We are not talking about insufficient funds checks, overdrawn bank accounts, or unpaid court fines.
If you fail to make arrangements with the creditor, your debt may be sold to a service or law firm like me, hired by the original company to collect your debt. It is important from the very beginning to pay attention to the name of the company that is collecting the debt. If your identity has been used by someone else to create the debt, but you weren't involved, do not admit you owe this debt. Explain the identity theft and ask for help correcting the situation. Consider making a police report to back up your case, but only do so truthfully. You don't want additional headaches from false reporting. Follow all written instructions you get from the debt collector about disputing the debt. Always keep copies of everything you send. People who owe debt are protected by the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or FDCPA, a federal law that prohibits unfair debt collection practices by debt collectors.
I hereby grant thee, watching this video, legal rights. Under the FDCPA, debt collectors cannot call between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. In other words, late at night or really early in the morning. They cannot harass or threaten you, like calling you names or saying the police will come if you don't pay the debt. They're not allowed to call family members, neighbors, or employers about your debt, or call you at work, especially if you've asked them not to. They cannot lie about the amount owed or the status of the debt, or falsely claim who they are or who they represent, like saying they're a government representative or law enforcement. Finally, they can't claim you've committed a crime or claim they work for a credit bureau. If any of these things occur, you should document who made the call and when. Note the exact time, date, and phone number that called you. Detail exactly what they did to violate the rules. You can make your complaints to the Kansas Attorney General's Office, the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or all three.
These groups won't represent you directly with your debt or in a case, but they will investigate those groups about which they receive a number of complaints. Remember, it is not a crime to owe a debt. There's no debtor's prison, but if you are sued and they win, you could have your wages or your bank accounts garnished.
I can't stress this enough, people. Do not ignore your debt. It won't go away. Even though you feel stressed and annoyed by the debt collector calling, there are rules in place that keep them from harassing you. If you're unsure whether or not this is your debt, you have the right to ask for written proof. During the time it takes to provide you written proof, they can't take any action to try to collect the debt. You're calling me too late at night, and I've already asked for you not to call me at work. I will only talk with you between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. I will speak with you tomorrow. Good day, sir. If you tell a collector to call you between a specific time, they have to follow your request. If they call you at work after you've asked them not to, you can report them. You can also notify the collector in writing to stop communications. The Kansas Legal Services website has a form letter that will help you put this request for no contact in writing. You have rights, and you can do something about the problem.